Okay, as summer has nearly passed, I thought it'd be nice to go for a quick ride on some cracking roads in Northumberland. So this one is an A1 very short detour. So if you're schlepping up the A1, you're bored to death, and I'm on the A1 northbound at the moment, and you want a little detour, try this because it's really nice. So you want to head for Chatton and Wooler on the B6348. And as you can see, I've invited John McGuinness onto my scooter, so that's why it speeds up every so often, because you don't want to watch me travelling at a snail's pace. Anyway, so this is the B6348, and we're heading towards a tiny little village or hamlet called Bell's Hill. Actually, is it Bellshill? Don't know, how do you pronounce that? Anyway, there's not much there. I think the population is less than 80, so it doesn't even appear in the census, no B&Bs. Anyway, as you can see, we're on the road proper now. It's really well surfaced. It's an absolutely beautiful road. And as you can see, John is enjoying himself. Now, in terms of the satellite imagery I'm using on the right-hand side, I use something called Telemetry overlay, which you can see in the screen of my Commodore PET over on the left-hand side. Really good piece of software. Basically, you import your GoPro footage or any footage that has GPS data associated to it. You import your footage, and then you can add lots of cool gauges, speedometers and other stuff, and then you can export it as a full video, or you can export it and use it in your video editor. It's really good. Oh, blimey, John, watch that lorry. Anyway, in the distance, you can see the Cheviot Hills, not pronounced the Cheviot Hills. And what we're going to do is just slow down here, and we're going to swing a right towards Belford, which is about 4 miles away. Now, this road, interestingly enough, has no name, so it doesn't appear to have any code or number or anything associated to it. But again, it's an absolutely beautiful road, really good for sports bikes. I mean, it's really good for any bike, but it's really good for sports bikes because you can see through all of the bends. The tarmac is pretty much fabulous. There's no horrible potholes. There's not much in the way of roadkill as well. And for everybody else who's not got the head down, it's also very, very scenic, as hopefully you can see on the left and the right hand side. Very, very scenic. And in front, as you go over the crests and the bumps, you can see the North Sea on the horizon in the distance, which the GoPro doesn't really pick it up too well, but it is absolutely beautiful. Anyway, I find this to be not only a scenic road, but it's also kind of very safe. Some of the roads in Northumberland, particularly the A1 or the A69, can be a bit dodgy. Anyway, so we're going to swing a right now back towards Belford. So we're back on the B6349 now. So John's just going to take us through the village. Obviously, he thinks he's going down Bray Hill here or something. So this is Belford, bit of a bigger village. I think it's probably around 4,000, 5,000 people. It's not terribly much here. It's not too touristy. I think it's got a couple of pubs, and there's a co-op and a few other shops, and there's a nice cafe towards the A1 South. But it's a nice little town, and if you want a nice little village, and if you want to stay here, I think there's a few B&Bs and Airbnbs and things. Now, I'm heading north now, again, kind of parallel to the A1. The reason why I'm going this way is because obviously it helps with the detour, keeps you heading north, but there's also a beautiful view on the right-hand side. So I'll just move the iPhone so you can see it a little bit better. And there we have, on the right-hand side, a very beautiful panoramic view of the Northumberland coast with Lindisfarne and the causeway in the distance. And even better, there's a little lay-by where you can stop, and you could take a really beautiful time lapse like this one. But either way, it's worth a stop so you can see the Northumberland coast. Ooh, blimey, John. Right, we're now heading back down to the A1, so I'll take over the controls and go at my usual sloth-like pace. I'm going to head back home now along the A1 North, which is to the left, and if you're heading south you would go towards Newcastle. So I'm not going to show you the A1 North because it's really boring. So it's time to go back home, do a bit more working from home like everybody else has been doing, and yeah, just keep myself busy. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. If more than 3 people watch this, I might do another one. Anyway, bye. God.